Welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show, and this is the Out with the Old, In with the New edition. We've brought in the better half of the Still Bowl, I guess. Well, we have three. His brother bowls too, but he's left-handed. We don't talk about that in public circles. So
bad for you, isn't it, Chris? You've got one two-hander and one left-hander.
They're filling in all the holes in my swing.
They're making you a more understanding competitor.
Yeah.
Suddenly, when they start talking about, man, there aren't enough lefties on the show, or man, we got to shut the two-handers out. You're like, whoa.
Hey.
Slow down with that one there.
Yeah. Well, here we go. B squared and lean stew. There we go.
Yeah, not as lean as he needs to be.
No, I've rallied a little bit here the last couple of weeks as well. So, but let's see. Over the weekend, we had the playoffs, which we not so accurately predicted, and Christian Escona thought he had the best bar action, quick 2 and out, and Cooley, we did get that one right. He strikes in bunches when he strikes, and 31st 300 on TV, and wow, now the show's really picking up steam. There's just two-handers everywhere now. This thing's going downhill in a hurry.
Poor Simo.
Kelly coming in here, acting like she, she's the resident expert. That's what she does.
Well,
William Gannum. Well, here we go. Let's give the board a little bit of attention today.
There we go, Randy, just for you.
It was actually Rob that said it.
Oh, I thought it was Randy. I thought he did the promo.
I read that, and then when I watched it back, it was Rob that said, "As we know, ball maintenance is key out here on the PBA tour."
Yeah,
so they might have both said it at some point, but.
Yeah, they were definitely showing some love to old Manscape. Yeah. I hope he's talking about his manscaping.
Well, I hope he's not, to be honest. So.
Oh, dear. The thing that brought me to the whole Manscaped thing was that I listened to Pat McAfee show. He had a thing with Manscaped for a little while, but Ian Rappaport, who for anybody who follows the NFL is one of the NFL insiders. He's like fake Schefter almost. He's the NFL Network's version of Adam Schefter.
Okay.
So those two argue back and forth over who tweets fastest, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Well, anyway, he got himself banned for a couple of weeks from ESPN because he signed a deal with Manscaping. And he tweeted something, and I think that it was more a case that Disney didn't get a cut of it than Disney were appalled by the fact that he was with Manscaping. But, they threw that under the morals clause. Donnie Benson with what's going to be comment of the day, no doubt about it.
What after there's just two choices, right? Left and right.
I mean, it can't get any better than that. Lonnie is Stu should be the face of Manscaped. He's always been a supporter of smooth balls. I mean, it can't get much better than this. I mean, it's already a great Tuesday. I haven't even bowled league yet.
Oh, this whole thing's gone downhill in a hurry.
So, let's have a little bit of a chat about Nationals to start with. Ash Ryan's in here with us. We heard my take on it. I felt like the team was a little softer. Ryan obviously doesn't have a measuring stick because I believe this was your first go at Nationals.
Yes, it was.
And last time Nationals bowled, you sucked, so that wouldn't help either. Last time Nationals actually bowled, you were a basketball player. So that's
True.
that's kind of cool. So how did you attack them? What did you do? What did you think?
I started out throwing urethane, and I didn't have a whole lot of room on the team pattern. I was on the pitch black, kind of shaping it a little bit, and I don't know. I didn't have very much miss room, so I shot 197 the first game.
203 the first game.
203. Yeah, and then I kind of went away the second game. I stuck with it for too long, and then I kind of like switching the reality, like frame 6, kind of saved the game through like back 5 or something for 197. And then the last game I had 240 on the 10th, and I washed out, and that was it.
So Anthony says the team is softer in his opinion. Yeah, that was kind of the opinion I got as well.
The 5 or 6 300 or 300s in doubles and singles.
No, there's been a few in teams.
Doesn't match up.
I think that we're talking about it's softer than it's been.
Yeah,
and I also think it really depends on which pair you're on. Because if you ask AJ Chapman, he would significantly tell you that team is softer. So then you went. So you used pit. You kind of did what I did. Obviously, you had a little bit more rev rate than I did, so you were able to use the smoother ball a little more successfully than I was. I was trying to trick a shiny X1. I wish I'd had a quicker ball to kind of create that shape, but you kind of went the route I did a little bit. So then you went over to the bowling center. You were on 29 and 30?
Yeah, 29 and 30.
Which is a bit hit and miss, I think, over years that we've bowled there. They had that one deal for a little while. There was a weird bump on one of the lanes, I think, over there. But it seems like they've got that fixed. So
I bowled 3 games on that pair in the World Series in the past. My high game was 206. When I was sharing information with him, I may have neglected to pass that along.
Yeah.
The 2 lanes were always fairly close, but for some reason, I never really bowled a very good game on it. And, there's so many pairs and so much stuff that goes on. And it was 6-7 years ago. I don't remember exactly why, but
I saw that
so early.
Like I found it really hard to get it through the front. And then when I did get it through the front, it definitely got through the back.
Yeah.
So what did you what did you do, Ryan?
So my buddy at the pro shop, Mark Anderson, drilled me a fast pitch.
My buddy.
And I literally went 6 to 5, 6 to anywhere with a fast pitch. And I had a lot of room. I was just getting the 10 out mostly.
So you went something like 50, 50, 30, 30.
259.
256.
Strike, 7 spare, 7 spare.
9 spare.
9 spare.
Sheet.
And 239.
Yeah, and then
the closer.
230.
And then 239 again, or 236.
And then 2810 with like 4 weak 10s. And then the last game, pocket 710. And then second frame, get around it, Greek church, 3-bagger. Fifth frame, get around it, Greek church. Next frame, pocket 710.
Right.
Stone 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had a pretty good look. You just probably overall, if you're thinking back on it, you're currently in that mode that we all are. And knowing the best time to get out of urethane and like make the big jump is pretty much the hardest thing in bowling right now. It's a little easier for me and your dad because we're always looking for when can we get out of this fucking thing.
If anything, early, not late.
Yeah. But in general, that seems to be the most challenging thing for almost everybody. I would say one of the best people at doing it at the minute is Chapman. He seems to have pretty good eyes for when it looks like that's pretty good, but I can be better over here.
And he has a ball or two that he likes to get out of it, which is really, I think the real key is what do you get to, and then do you move 3, 8, 14? What do you what do you move when you get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that first move is always just a blind guess, really.
Yeah.
Always great to hear from Charlie Tapp. Heard the PBA 50 is going to go with Craftsman hedge clippers. There we go.
So there you go. Simon says, I think doubles is just harder because people aren't used to the fronts hooking so much. Pretty impressive seeing how quick the balls burn up.
Yeah. And the one thing about where Ryan played is that part of the lane is not so beat up.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do chase left from there, you run into significant.
Yeah, track hooked.
Yeah, the track hooks a ton. I mean, that place has a ton of lineage. It hooked quite a bit when we were there, 7, 8, 9 years ago for the 3 World Series. It's a credit to Mike Wozniak and his crew there. They do a lot of lineage in that center, so much so that they had to build a second 60-lane center on site because they couldn't kick all their leagues off. It was costing too much money. So, but it does have more of actually a little bit more of what we see here in Texas. A lot is a little bit more older surfaces than that, but game wise very similar, with the friction in the front, a little tighter in the back because of that friction. Everything plays a little flatter.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I felt like, for me anyway, I was a little trapped. I didn't even try my urethane ball because I knew that Chapman wanted to use urethane, and I felt like if we both used it, the lanes would get really messy really quickly. So that's why I didn't do it. And being as he'd bowled 770 the night before, seemed like I should probably give him the courtesy. He was a little better with urethane than I was.
There you go. From the man himself. Once it gets on the other side of the track, it seems to have no problem. But those misses left, yikes.
Yeah, for me, when I got left of it, it was just about moving far enough left to find. And once you did find a little bit of skid, you were fine.
Yeah, it seems like, unless you're really, really soft-handed, 10 to 15 is kind of no man's land. You either stay right of it, or you use that as your hook and have to get left of that.
That's one of the things about yes, mate. You would have probably been still looking like you were doing a one-step drill.
You'd have been standing in front of the trap door.
Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things about this kind of cool about like Mark's job, and like with Anthony living in Vegas, he gets to see this. You get to see a bunch of people who you don't really see. They all come through, and like Mark has guys that are just like come in and like, oh my God, Mark, how you doing? And like they'll be chatting to him, and Mark will be like, yeah, see that guy once a year. Don't text, don't write, don't email. But I do have a great time with him for the 2 days he's here.
Yeah.
It's just like it's really weird.
And I know some people are wondering, every show somebody asks, Beef and Barnzy hoodies, right there, repping the gear, Beef and Barnzy sweats, polos.
Coming-ish, maybe.
Go to beefandbarnzy.com and you can get those.
Woo! Let's go.
Wait
till they find out Anthony Simonson's on the squad. Whew.
Yeah.
No one's going to bowl.
Yeah, that'll make them super happy about the no brackets, and now I get to bowl him. I'll just get in the year-long ones and skip this. Thanks. So,
yeah.
Speaking of sponsors, we have a minute. We'll hear a word from one of our good friends and sponsors of the show.
Mark Baker here. Are you struggling with your game? Do you need another set of eyes? Is there that one thing in your game you just can't fix? Please let me help you. go to markbakerbowling.com, click on virtual lessons, and follow the 3 easy steps. Remember, you can live anywhere in the world, and with virtual lessons, I can help you. Look forward to seeing your videos. Thank you.
So that was yeah.
So that's perfect. These people I wouldn't go out of my way to see, but if they're coming to me, I'm supposed to hang out. I suppose I'll hang out.
Yeah, that's exactly Mark.
The all button's the refund button this year.
Do you hear that?
Huh?
He's actually somewhat funny when he speaks out loud. He goes, the all button is the refund button this year.
Fun story. Traveler tip. Now, you can do this 2 different ways. I left my credit card at the desk, and the nice lady ran whatever they had, and she gave me my credit card back with the receipt. John Burkett went a different direction. He piled in and ticked every box that was humanly possible and said, thanks for the miles, and took the refund.
He plays the game at a different level than I think for an ex-athlete and some of the stereotypes that fit there.
Yeah.
He doesn't fit many of them.
No.
He doesn't miss any opportunities to catch a little extra.
Yeah, like for me, I didn't really see the point of it. There wasn't enough miles that really made it worthwhile. It was just more of a pain in the ass about having money on this credit card and walking around with like $3,000 in cash when you knew that there was no chance that was going to be a scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's not actually all that bad. It's a tad inconvenient, turns out, if you're under 21.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to collect your money.
Oh.
It'd be interesting to see what the turnaround time is because of the setup. If you're under 21, you can't get your money, and they have to send you a check.
Good
Interesting.
time.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can't even go up with like a chaperone type thing?
Well, Mark was actually the one that used his credit card and put him in the brackets, and I was just going to send him, I'm going to Zelle him the money. And then also thinking he'd probably be able to pick it up that way too. He has the receipt, the whole thing, but not so fast, my friend. So, okay. Yeah, he called it the best Barnzy deal ever. He paid for it. He can't get any of the money back. So, sounds like a perfect, it's almost like I planned it.
Chess and checkers there, my friend. Chess and checkers.
The $40,000 millionaire. I've learned a few tricks from him over the years.
So, okay. Let's quickly move on to the playoffs. This is funny, clip odds.
Wish I was under 21. Maybe some of my bracket money would still see the bank account instead of the tables.
I'm sure you're not on your own on that one. So anyway, we had the playoffs. I think the plan is to have Kyle come and join us on Thursday.
He will be here on Thursday.
So we will go a little bit more in depth on Thursday with him. But overall, I thought that the whole of the playoffs provided some pretty exciting moments. It was kind of ironic that almost the entirety of the playoffs was roll-offs until it came to the finals weekend, and then there was no roll-offs.
True.
That was kind of fun. I still was a little confused about why we were bowling best of 5 and we were having a roll-off, but then I thought about it and I thought, I guess 4 games was going to take most of the time, so they wouldn't really have that much time for another game. So when it's live, it kind of makes sense because you kind of limiting the time. So I guess from a PBA point of view, it was possibly the best scenario. It went 4 games, so we filled up the whole of the allotment without having to fluff. And then on top of it, the guy who lost shot 300. How could it get better than that?
Somebody. Richie coming in. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how are you doing? But yeah, I felt like that was pretty cool to see Cooley shoot 300. We even got a smile. Roman Reigns, I believe it was. Was it Roman Reigns? I forget. One of the wrestlers who gave the shout out to Cooley joined the list. Cooley didn't seem slightly impressed. He just looked at him like, "Who the fuck are you, and why are you talking to me?"
The great thing about it is that Kyle's personality allows Sam's to be okay. If everybody's vanilla, then it is okay. But and Sam's so much the other way that it's its own personality of no personality, and it's Roman shouted out to Kyle Rollins. Rollins was Cooley. There you go. So that was one of Sam's two facial expressions during the whole time. One was the 300 where he kind of grinned. The creepy serial killer one, and then the smirk, as in I just beheaded you in my mind.
So shout out to Phyllis, thank you. We appreciate the support.
But yeah, I thought the shows were really good. I thought Kyle was on point, and we got the better part of Kyle. Maybe the only positive about not having fans is you get to hear all of the internal talk. I thought Doherty was very enlightening, all the things that was going through his head in those moments. I thought Kyle talked himself off the ledge, got himself back straight, and he made some great shots when he needed to survive. And he was fortunate. When you got it going, the other guy gives you a break. And when you got it going the other way and you make the mistake, they always step on your throat. And he's got it going the right way. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kyle stayed pretty steady the whole way through. He obviously won game one, and then he still bowled 248 game two when Cooley bowled 300.
Right.
I felt like the biggest, and I mean, it obviously was going to be, because whoever wins game three in that scenario is always in such a huge advantage. But Kyle threw I think is one of his better shots under pressure the last few months. And he got that trip 4 to win game 3. And that was kind of looked like it took a little bit of the it took a little bit of the wind out of Cooley's sails, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't need that hit, but I don't believe, right?
Yeah, he did. He needed a strike.
He just did 9.
No, he needed a strike because Cooley got the first one in the 10th.
Right, he shot 210. Yeah, so he needed that one, and he needed like 8 spare or something after that.
Yeah. It was basically the game was over because Cooley got bad count as well. Phil Downright said, "What did you think about the pattern?" So Richie's talking about the pattern. I enjoyed it. They weren't too easy. Multiple angles, no urethane, good scores. Yeah. The only thing I would have said was they seem to be wildly different show to show, with some of the issues with the lane machine. But when you're playing one-on-one, does it really matter? I do think that Sam might have been at a slight disadvantage, which is perfectly okay because Kyle was the number 1 seed, and hell, the number 1 seed earned it for a reason. But with Cooley not really getting to bowl on the fresh, I don't think he had as good a progression through his arsenal as Kyle did. Kyle was very clear on what he was going to do. He was going to throw that Rubicon the first game, maybe the first game and a half, and then he was going to get into his UC2. And then if he needed to, from there, he was going to go into that idle synergy. Whereas Cooley had kind of used the really big ball, relying on what everybody else had done in the match before. So when he actually burnt it up himself, they became really cliff for him. And he looked like he needed to get into another option, and he didn't really have it. Now, maybe he wouldn't have done if he'd have played on the fresh previously, but it did seem like that was that was a little bit of an issue for Sam. What did you think, Richie? What did you think about the whole fact that, you know, you had matches where one guy had bowled on the fresh and the other guy had never bowled on the fresh, and then they were playing each other? That seemed to be a little bit anyway. It almost looked like that this year with the right lane.
Yeah, prediction next year's playoffs, different patterns on each lane. Start here first.
But anyway, just like that's my only real slight criticism, and I don't know that there's a way around it. But the fact that, you know, half the bracket is going to get to bowl on fresh and the other half doesn't. So for the second round matches, it can be a little. Maybe they could solve that by they don't go in order of the matches, so they do like the fresh and fresh play each other like type of deal.
Possibly.
But
this is a little bit of a layup. I feel like he's trying to troll me a little bit when we see a Chris Barnes, Ryan Barnes pairing for doubles at the USBCs. Well, I'll have to be 60 at least, and then depending on whatever rules get made up between now and then, because now college bowlers are the equivalent of professionals.
This is good as you. It's on here.
And that's why he's here, because he's.
Hey, I always laugh and I say that that Chad did that for me, so that I don't bowl with Tina at nationals and I don't get shouted at for not doing it.
He did you a favor? Okay.
Yeah. Because my wife doesn't particularly have a huge amount of fun at nationals. Women's nationals, on the other hand, bang bang.
Yeah.
Hey, did any of you not hear? My wife shot 300 at nationals.
There was a rumor. That's true, huh? Okay. I wasn't sure. No, I would hope so. I guess I could probably bowl with Troy as long as he doesn't join a college team. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of rules that make no sense, to be honest. And honestly, there's some easy fixes to it, because what you're really talking about is you're talking about Biondo and Wesley Lowe and Cameron and Greg Young and coming up here, Robars, and these guys have been on Junior Team USA who play at basically a professional level, but they're in college, so they're not. And so they're trying to stop you from stacking super teams, which is fine. But
I think that the problem is, Chris, is that it's very difficult to make reasonable rules for unreasonable people.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like some of the, there's a lot of different versions of 55 years old. There's the Norm version, and then there's basically everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Norm, Pete, Walter, Parker, and Leto are still pretty good bowlers. So if you say, hey, if you've won a title within the last, let's just say 5 years, then you fall under these rules because you're still active and you're still bowling pretty good. But, Mark Baker hasn't bowled in 25 years on tour. And
No, I get it. And I don't envy them and having to come up with rules. And
they took the easy way out and just made a blanket rule. And
yeah.
And now, PBA Hall of Fame members are lifetime members, so they can't. There's some silly interpretations of them as well, and it's just laziness for the most part. But we also have USBC Hall of Famers that basically never bowled USBC events. So there's a couple of things that could be fixed there.
Quick shout out to Gary Moore. He just likes what he saw with what Ryan's wearing, and we've sold another hoodie, so appreciate it.
Nice.
Good work, Ryan. Even if Ryan's got a limited edition only for Ryan color, because we couldn't get hold of that color at the time, so we've got black.
Well, you can if you have mediums. It turns out, just you and I don't fit in that. So.
Yeah, well, no, but you can't get a B for Barnzy one because there isn't one.
Well, that's true.
It's just not. So, yeah.
The old peanut butter roll, just smeared across everyone. There you go.
Let's see what he said. Let's see what he says here. I think a wrinkle with sets of matches not on fresh continues. They should draw for match times. All of Cooley's matches were following a match. All of Trish were on fresh, I believe. Yeah, they were. 100% they were. So, like I say, it's just a little awkward because, I mean, having said that, Rich, in the previous round, Christian Azcona had bowled all of his matches on fresh, and Cooley had never bowled on fresh, and Cooley murdered him. So,
true.
I mean, yeah, it kind of is what it is.
So if Trey Ford can get one, can Ryan sign it for him?
Sure.
As long as you buy it. we'll give Ryan a finder's fee.
And that leads into his mom's question.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's doing okay on commissions, Linda.
Be okay.
There you go.
Unreal.
Yeah, I just don't think they want to mess around with that, to be honest. Like we're trying to figure it out. I mean, that might be an option, but I think pretty much everybody would want to bowl on the fresh. Because when you're bowling on the patterns that are slightly higher scoring, which that felt, that falls into the category of slightly higher scoring. It certainly wasn't stupidly high scoring, but it was certainly a little higher scoring. I mean, it's pretty much always going to be better to bowl on the first match. So I think most guys would take that unless they felt like that they were at a huge disadvantage of the high scores and wanted it to get messy. Then you might see some different stuff, but yeah, or they were left-handed because that rule disappeared this year. The lefty's always been on the fresh. That was only last year's rule.
He wasn't there very long, so.
No, I understand, but Jacob and him both bowled on burn.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, you bitched and it didn't win, so I don't know.
I'm just whatever. It was what it was. It was just strange that it got changed last year. It didn't get changed this year.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, it should have been changed this year too. I think that's the only.
Yeah.
In general, when it's possible, the left-handed matches should be on the fresh unless they're bowling each other.
So, what do you guys have coming up this weekend? You bowling anything? Did you bowl? Well, you didn't bowl this weekend at all, did you, Chris?
I did not. I was in Kansas, so I didn't bowl. And then this next weekend, there's a non-champs that somebody's on the waiting list for. And I don't think there's much here other than there's like a 10-25 cap tournament of some sort. So despite another rousing finishing night to my Louisville sub, I don't quite fit very easily under the cap. So
it's just because you got the wrong friends. I can make some calls. I can find some guys for you to bowl if you want to bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. I'm sorry they had to switch.
I'm not bowling the Ozarks. I only ever think about, oh man, I should bowl the Ozarks about this time of year when it's about halfway through.
For you, it's pretty good height. From here, it's still a little ways, but it's doable. I've bowled it a few times. Actually, one of the last times I bowled it, though, I bowled with Sean Swanson. So, that's how long it's been. So
Adam, despite the fact that you shared the Beef and Barnzy post to every single person who was us, it seemed like you managed to scam your way into a T-shirt. So if you send me a message on the Beef and Barnzy Facebook page, I will get a T-shirt out to you. Despite you being a scam artist, we found a winner for the HB Intensity The winner was Donald Cooper. So I will get in touch with him and get the ball out to him. Congratulations on the win. Thanks, guys, for sharing it. I don't even know where the Spectrum Entertainment Complex is. Oh, in Michigan. No, we're not going to Michigan.
Why don't you go to that?
Grand Rapids. There is a lot of tournaments around here that same weekend. So,
yeah. A quick shout out. We've got there's a tournament at Rowlett, an 8-gamer. Is it a 6 or an 8-gamer at Louisville?
6 at Louisville. That's on actual Memorial Day. There's a 16-gamer in Lubbock. There's a member guest SASBA in Houston, basically.
Yeah, and then on the Monday, there's an NDO tournament, singles tournament.
Yeah, down there.
One of the Armadillo centers. So yeah, there's plenty of bowling coming up. I am. I believe we go up to a Castlemaine 4X or a Hambone, and no, it won't say it's the fucking Jets, unfortunately. I'm bowling this weekend down in San Antonio. I'm bowling with my wife. We're bowling the trio that we bowl down there. So that should be a good time. Sean Maldonado's coming to try and spoil the fun. So
maybe I'll put a team together and come see you.
Yeah, I think they still have spots if you and Ryan want to come down.
Yeah.
Need to find a lady though.
Oh, get one to every tournament, right?
Yeah.
Hashtag.
But yeah, if there's any ladies in the San Antonio area who are looking to bowl, give Chris a message. I believe that for the first time in a while, Joe actually has spots left. So if you send Joe a message, he might have some ladies who are looking to bowl.
Well, there's an 18-hole tournament in Roseburg. So that you don't know, Brian and I roomed for a lot of years. That's paradise for starting about now. It's starting to get warm and you play about as much golf as you want there. Beautiful.
Hey Joe, yeah, we did talk about it. If you go head over to our YouTube channel, we've got a video up there that's quite popular where I talk about my what I saw over at Nationals. And then if you want to watch this episode from the start, probably after about the first 5 minutes or so, Ryan gives his rundown on what he saw. So check both those out.
Who are your Lucy partners?
I'm bowling with Birgit.
Used to be Poplar. Now it's
Noranks.
Yeah, I can't pronounce.
I was struggling. There, Chris. I was struggling.
And I was fortunate. I picked up. I bowled with Josie Barnes in the past. Her sister's getting married that weekend, of course. So, but I'm bowling with Dasha Kovalova. So,
are we talking at the Lucy or are we talking at Nationals? Because there's no chance that Tina outscores me at Nationals because she would have to enter. It's not.
Tina says she'll drive the cart for the 18-hole tournament. And Alan Riley says Kevin Green's available for the lefty side. Lady side.
Lady side.
Yeah. Qualifies for both. Kevin Green runs tournaments with Alan here in Dallas. And, yeah, I mean, if you just watch his ball roll, you wouldn't know the difference. So,
oh boy.
Come on now. We're better than this. We're not cavemen. Ladies can hook the ball too. Daniel Farish still throws it straighter than almost every other lady. So,
well, that's a fact, but he can't beat Liz Johnson. So,
yeah, but neither of us can a lot of the time.
neither can we. So, doing it.
What weekend are you bowling Nationals, Chris?
I don't have a team. So I was going to go out with Ryan and get on the sub board that weekend, and that didn't work out. I had my Codger team together, and we got disqualified because they're lifetime members. Barry Asher's a lifetime PBA member as a Hall of Fame member. So, and I can't bowl with another member. So it's yet to be determined
You might. Are you going out to that way for the senior stops?
Yeah, but it'll be over by then.
Oh, okay. Good.
They moved
Good
them.
times.
They moved them back to September now,
Right.
so that the regulation stuff would be much easier to get around. Some of the stuff's still in play now, where you just can't. You can't really have a tournament like that yet. Very easily.
So,
while we were in Reno.
Lesko's almost doing it just to fry you. Same weekend as Hammond. I think he's.
Yeah, you can make it. You just miss practice.
I think he's just in to be a troll, though.
Well, Hammond finishes on Thursday. You can leave there. You can't really practice at Lucy anyways because you have to be there on Thursday if you bowl on a weekend squad, depending which squad you're on. So
Lonnie says his team has an opening on the 3rd and 4th of July. Hit him up.
Oh, that is during a PBA 50 stop, so that one isn't going to happen. But
Timmy says see you at the Senior Masters. I guess he's old enough now.
Is he? He is. Scam artist. There we go.
There we go. Skillins might need a sub CB. Well, he just has to make the call.
Man, another wrong
Things we do for our sponsors.
He's one of the few that I like. I like Kevin. So, yeah. Will be June 20th. What is June 20th? Oh, his birthday when he's eligible.
Right.
So, what do I got here? There's something. Oh, nothing.
Tim Mack is also bowling the PBA King of the Lanes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, that's June 20th. He's on the 19th, I believe. So, yeah. And then his birthday's the next day. Well, look at that.
Early birthday present. Right. Larry, you brought up a great point. Me and Linda are currently taking plaudits.
Before it started, Stu called
Liz Colton
and the other Liz and Liz Colkin, and she led basically, or almost led, and she
was leading after 2 days. I think she ended up 4th qualifier, had a rough first match, and then made it all the way through to the winners bracket final. Unfortunately, I couldn't completely do a lap of honor because that would have been what we led with today. If she'd have been the number 1 seed after I said that she was going to be great, and nobody else was really picking her in our comments.
No. Linda picked Verity. They bowled each other in the semifinals of the winners. You guys were both like geniuses. And
yeah. So that was pretty good. The playoff last night was kind of interesting the way it ended up going down at the end, because Missy looked like she had a good reaction right at the start, and I kind of was Tina was watching it while she was doing some work in her office. So I watched the first 3 or 4 frames, and I was like, wow, Verity's got a really good look. So I leave, and like Diana couldn't get it to hit the pocket on the left lane. She just kept leaving the tube in every shot. I come back in about 3/4 of the way through the 3rd game. Diana's got like an 8-bagger running, and only her and Missy have a chance to be the 3rd seed. And Verity and Erin McCarthy, who'd bowled great, Erin bowled great a bunch of her matches, but multiple 700s, were like struggling to shoot 570. And I'm like, what? Like, what happened? But as it turned out, both went down to the 10th frame for the 3rd seed and for the 5th seed, if that kind of makes sense. It was 2 matches within the 1 match in the end. Verity came away just about. She needed a spare in the 10th frame. She got a strike. And unfortunately for Diana, she needed a double in the 10th to force to force Missy to spare. She didn't get it, and then Missy managed to get 6. So that was a little bit of butterflies when they were trying to figure out the scoring, because the scoring in the National Bowling Stadium, despite them looking really cool, is not the easiest thing in the world to know, because you can't dashes, tic-tac-toe is a little hard to figure out when you really need to know. But it turned out she needed 1 pin out of the 2, 4, 8, 10. So she took care of that to steal away the number 3 seed. So Yeah, Bowl TV tonight. I believe it's 8 p.m. Eastern. So
who was the other person out there?
Sorry?
Who was the other person out in the 4 or 3?
Aaron McCarthy.
Aaron was.
Yeah. And she actually lost her very first match and made it all the way through. So that would have been the second time, because I believe that's what Chris Vi did as well.
That's crazy too. That's so hard to do.
So, Mika, I'd seen Mika was one of the first people I saw do that. Like when I was actually paying attention to it. I'm sure plenty of people have done it, but it's a ways. Like it's a bunch of matches, do or die matches the whole way. And like I say, Aaron had a one match. I think she struck out in the 10th to win by 1 pin, or to shut out. I'm not sure, but she ended up winning by 1 pin.
Right.
She had, like I say, she had multiple 700s. Linda says she did it in 1991. So there you go, the originator.
Yeah. Also, the last time they both 4-game matches. Yeah. Yeah, she was a bit on the. She didn't quite make the DL, but it was a good thing. It was. She was in her early 20s when that one happened. Holy.
So Sterner did it as well this year. Yeah. Maybe it was Sterner rather than Vi then.
I think it was.
But I think Vi was. Yeah, I think Vi was in the losers bracket for a while. Stu was in diapers. How young do you think I am? Or how much do you think do I need to worry about you if you think a 10-year-old's in diapers?
There you go. Is anyone giving Julia Bond? We really haven't given a proper shout out to.
I love her game, by the way.
What's that?
I love her game.
Yeah, this is not a fluke. She's been good for a long time. She
already won earlier on in the season as well.
Right. And I think the women do it the quote unquote right way. I think she has a double elimination final as undefeated, so you have to beat her twice.
Oh, does she?
I believe so, because it's
okay. Well,
one of the big advantages of not being on TV is the format actually plays out like it's supposed to.
Oh, it does. Okay, good for her.
Yeah, and so she's earned a little bit of advantage on the show, and yeah, she's been a tough out for a long time before she was out of college. She was a tough out. So I remember watching her at the National Amateur Championships, and she won that, and she's got a lot of game. There's not a lot that goes wrong in that game. So the harder they are, the better. And they weren't that hard this week, and she still ran through the field. It says something.
Yeah, she bowled a bunch of high scores, that's for sure.
There you go.
So somebody's asking for a pick from Minnie Barnes.
I'll take Julia.
Yo, front runner. Closest to his age, to be honest. So that probably is.
It's the side ponytail that does it for you. Gotta get the hair out the way of the swing, or in the way of the swing, whichever.
So okay, let's go match by match. Verity versus Diana.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you want me to pick?
Sure.
I mean, I've got to go with the with Blighty, haven't I? Come on, Verity.
All right, Verity beats Diana. Goes on to bowl Missy.
I guess Missy, because Missy's got way more experience on those matches. I think she's already won the Queens. So
she wins a lot of things, and she is not afraid to throw it when it matters.
I'm going to take Missy. Then, because I love being right, I'm going to take Liz Culkin to run the ladder.
And then Liz Culkin's going to beat Missy, then beat Julia, and beat her again.
Yeah, just because I love being right.
Team never wrong.
Exactly. And right now, I'm not wrong. Neither's Linda. We're both right. And if it didn't happen on TV, it didn't happen. So we're going to stay right, whatever. So, all right. Well, we can probably wrap this episode up.
All right.
Yeah, William, I guess you had a delay up there in Killeen. Chris said that he believes that that's the way it's going to be.
That is my understanding, and it has been that way in the past. Linda won it as the top seed, non-televised, and Karen Stroud at that time beat her the first game, but did not beat her the second game. And then the next time she won it was televised, and so it was just a one-game match for the title. And then,
if that was you, that would have been for sure. You would have been the top seed every time it was on TV, and the second seed every time it was on TV.
All right. Sounds right.
Oh,
UAE for $50,000. It's you have to beat them twice, and I'm in that match against Bill Rowe, and then the Masters the other 3 times. So, bang.
Well, that's nice to hear, Vince.
Very cool.
When is Ryan's next tournament? Sounds like it might be Saturday if Chris has his way.
Yeah. Well, he can pull the non-champs in Waxahachie. He might throw a double there. Cool.
Terry's saying Dan is going to get second. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to have Kyle with us on Thursday, so we can get your questions prepared for that.
Yep. A little recap on USBCs from Ryan's standpoint. It looked like you could throw urethane a little bit straightish, but get out of it. It's not a 3-game deal there. You stretch the pattern a little bit, you can take advantage of it. Probably should have went to reactive a little bit sooner to take advantage of that. For doubles and singles, it sounds like it might be worth a look, though, to play to the right. It may not be great on every pair, but if you catch one of those good ones, but it's either right of 8 or left of 15 for the most part. So
definitely. We will continue to get people in who do well at nationals. We will not be doubtful we will be getting lefties in who do well at nationals, because that helps 8% of the population. So sorry, Martel. Congratulations on taking the lead, though.
Another Nick Hoagland advancer. So the
truth is on fire.
He's do well.
Maybe we can get Kyle Troop to sponsor the show, being as he's like 500,000 Kyle now.
That's a good point.
Maybe we'll ask him.
This episode sponsored by The Fro.
Come on, Kyle. You can slip as a hundo here, bro.
Yeah. Thanks to Fire Lake Bowling Center again for being a sponsor of the show. And once again, thanks for joining us. We'll be back on Thursday, and Kyle will break down kind of all the things that happened on the show, and the good, the bad, the ugly throughout the whole process, including different lane machines and blue oil and clear oil and fans, no fans, getting to have your family there. There's a lot of things we can bring up. We'll talk about all of that on Thursday. Thanks to our guest who, through pure volunteerism on his own, showed up to come here and talk today. Loves to be in front of the camera.
You could barely get a word in, could you, Chris?
Yeah, it's hard to get him to be quiet, but our new fashion model for the show, we're going to take advantage of that soon. We'll try and post some shots up too of Ryan, so you get a little bit of an idea of what he was doing, not just us talking about it. But we got him up early. It's before noon, so good deal there. But once again, support those small businesses and those bowling centers and help them get through this summer. And once again, when you get a chance, if you can help support the sponsors that support us, one big happy family: Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global, Vice Turbo, Coolwick, 3G Shoes, Master, Bowler's Mart, and Mark Baker Bowling, as well as our newest sponsor, Fire Lake Bowling Center. Thanks to Chris Skillings. Maybe I'll hear from you guys soon about nationals. And until next time, Thursday, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.